Hello, it's me, and I'm just checking in because I promised a few of you that I would do another one of these video podcasts, and I had planned to do it last week, maybe the week before. I'm losing track of time, um, but I'm sorry that I didn't. I had a conference presentation to give, and then I was on annual leave for Easter. So apologies for that. This is a bit delayed, but in actual fact, it's quite good to have it now because it's been some time since I saw many of you at the tutorial, and TMA5 is now definitely on the horizon, being due in a couple of weeks, maybe less than that. I'm just sure that we don't have any concept of time these days. Just live one day to the next, flying by the seat of my pants. Here we go. So it's the 20th now. Okay, so yeah, we've got just shy of 2 weeks. So I just want to talk quickly about the TMA for you, just to see how you're getting on, where I would imagine you should be, give you some tips maybe. I can't really give you much beyond what's provided in the assessment guide, the assignment guide, but I'll maybe see if I can give any further insights. Hopefully you'll be well on your way to having completed it, if you are intending to do so. I'll also talk quickly about the EMA because I have made a recent post to the forum about this, just to chivvy you along, because this is really appearing on the horizon now, and it's probably quite important that we start thinking about it if you haven't already. So TMA 5, I'm just going to call up, I did have everything ready here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, TMA 5, 2,000 words, due Tuesday, 5th of May. Okay, so that means you've got more than two. It's 27th now. No, sorry, it's not 20th. 20th now, so we've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks exactly. And the question is to do with a Gray quote. He argues that socially legitimated forms of language in high status foreign languages are seen as a kind of asset, and speakers with the ability to deploy them receive cultural or material advantages such as prestige, influence, or employment. So really, you're going to need to get your head around what that means, what you think Gray means by socially legitimated forms of language and high status foreign languages, whether you think that applies to English, etc. And you're being asked to discuss his statement with reference to two different contexts, one inside and one outside Kakuru's inner circle of English. So you're going to need to be familiar with his inner circle, possibly also need to be familiar with the limitations of that model. And this is an essay, as it was for TMA4, so you need to do a range of things. As the guidance says, you need to show that you've understood what Gray means by the above, and that you understand the ideas he expresses apply to real-world contexts, and make clear to what extent you agree or disagree with his position and why, using examples from your context to support your arguments. Yada, 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 you do this every time, you're getting used to it, you need to use evidence, and it gives you then further information about what you should be covering. I haven't had any panicky emails or as I did with the last TMA from any of you, although potentially some of you are panicking and you just are too scared to email. If that's the case, if you've got any questions at all, just get in touch, either privately or on the forum if you can, so that other people can share my answers, or possibly answer for you. So I mean, I think it's a very straightforward TMA in the sense that it's not. There's nothing left field there. It's all fairly easy enough to know what's going on. There's no contentious wording there. Discuss is obviously the key word when it comes to knowing what you're supposed to do. You need to essentially weigh up any controversy, decide which side you agree with, but it doesn't mean that you can't sit on the fence. Remember that a good approach is to plan your argument. If you're being told repeatedly that your work is descriptive or too descriptive, you may be at the point of being a mid to high past 2, and you might be feeling quite frustrated by that. So possibly the reason why that is, obviously it would depend on individual situations, but it may be because you are being too descriptive, i.e. you're not challenging ideas enough, you're not exploring enough perspectives, or it may be that your argument isn't developed enough. So you might be going through the motions and alluding to an argument or being implicit about agreeing or disagreeing, but maybe you're not giving enough information about your particular argument. You might be describing the evidence and then not fitting it into an argument, and that will depend on you. And I would say refer back to previous feedback on TMAs so that you know more specifically where your areas for improvement are. So do plan. I believe I've attached a sort of a PowerPoint showing you how to plan an argument, but as I say that, I'm just going to check if that's not in the forum. I will post it, and I'll post it up today. So I'm just writing this down. Right, okay, I'm thinking as I'm speaking, which is never a good idea. So that's TMA5. Like I say, start talking about it if you're confused or you're not sure or you want to share ideas. Where it says, just to clarify, it says 2 different contexts. I think that's just so that they don't get tied up in, you know, what's a country, what's a territory, you know, what counts as each. As long as you justify what you mean by context, it doesn't have to be synonymous with country. So the context could be, maybe, I'm trying to think of 2, well, I think it probably will correspond to country in this respect, because it's saying 1 inside and 1 outside categories in a circle of English, but it might be different applications of it. So I would say treat it as pretty much synonymous with country. Don't get tied up in, you know, grey areas. Be simple, and it you know, then you won't trip yourself up. So for example, you might choose a UK context, or maybe Australia or America, you know, something from the inner circle, and then anything beyond that. We've already noted in discussions on the forum and in tutorials that there are some difficult areas, for example, South Africa. So maybe that doesn't mean you should avoid that, but don't get tied up in trying to define which circle it belongs to, because that's not part of the task. Just assume, if you wanted to talk about South Africa, that it counts as 1 outside the inner circle. I mean, that all goes towards relevance, knowing what to include and what not to. And in this case, I wouldn't get all tied up over that. And if you are going to talk about limitations of Kaku's model, do so in brief. Don't go off on a tangent. And only where relevant. It may be that it's not relevant at all, depending on what you're is this working? Okay, hang on. Sorry, I've gone silent because I've lost myself. I thought that I'd stopped the recording. I haven't, so that's great. I don't have to redo it. But sorry for the break in the broadcast there. Right, so that's TMA5. Can't really say much more than they say in the assignment book, but I am here to hold your hand if you need any help with anything specific. For the EMA, I would say you need to really start to be thinking about finding a journal article if you haven't already. Some of you have, I know. If you haven't, don't panic. You still have plenty of time, but you really do need to specifically make sure you know how to get a journal article. If you're confident in using the library catalogue and you know what journals are, you're halfway there. If you've never done anything like this before, please do start trying to find out what's involved, because there is a little bit of a learning curve involved. I've made a post today about the EMA, about the verification process. I'm not going to go on at length about that because I've done so in the forum, and I don't need to duplicate that, but please do read my posts on that and ensure that you have provided me with your outline, if you can, by the deadline that I've suggested, which is the 27th, i.e. a week's time. That isn't a formal deadline, so you don't have there's no penalising you if you don't meet it. However, it would be useful to you if you could meet that. If you think that you can't meet it, I would recommend getting in touch anyway, just to say where you are, if you've got any concerns, if you think you are going to be behind for whatever reason, because I can't give you an extension on the EMA, unfortunately. So really, we need to start pulling our socks up and getting things more to plan if they haven't been so far, which may be no fault of your own if you're behind. These things happen, but it's my job to start helping you move towards the recommended deadlines. The main thing is, and it doesn't. I'm not here to police you. I'm here to help you. So if you feel like you're getting behind, don't feel you have to avoid me like you do when you're at school and your teacher is looking for your homework. I am invested in making sure that you finish the course and succeed. So I will do everything within my power to help you get through this and to meet the deadlines. So I won't be chasing you in a negative way, but I am going to be on your heels to try and get you through the process as seamlessly as possible. And if you are experiencing any difficulties, whether it be personal, work-related, study-related, if I know about them, then I can help you. If I don't, and you go incommunicado, then it's very difficult for me to offer support. So that's the way it goes. So I think I'm trying to see how long this took. I can't tell. Probably too long by now, but I think that's enough for now. I just really wanted to check in, let you see my face, so that you can realise that I've not passed away through overwork, which I sometimes feel I should. I'm sure you do too. But I'm still here. I've actually moved my office around, as you can tell. It looks like I'm in some sort of I don't know, generic office, which I am, but less like a broom cupboard, I hope. That's on the other wall now. So now I'm rambling, so I'm going to shut up. Please do get in touch if you've got any questions, and please do help each other on the forum if you can. We're getting close to the end. It's going to be a flurry of activity for a few weeks, but we're nearly through it. You've nearly finished, so please keep going and use me where necessary, because I'm here for you.